with respect to Master of Business Application program. I'm also talking about the provisional accreditation for the 3 years. In order to get the 3 years of accreditations, what are these conditions you have to fulfill? And then I'm also talking about the accreditation for the 6 years. Means in order to get the 6 years accreditations, what are the conditions we are supposed to fulfill? Till now, I have not seen any college whose college Master of Business programs which has got 6 years accreditation. Maximum college no, MBA program no, I have seen only 3 years. Then I am talking about the important criteria. In SAR, means self-assessment report, every criterion is important, but there are some criteria which are more critical. I am explaining those criteria. Then I'm also talking about the multiple choice questions, I mean MCQ questions, and MBA accreditation process with respect to Master of Business Application. Finally, references. Yeah, now I'm talking about the FAQ and the MBA accreditation process. Now, I hope that after my presentation, all your doubts will be cleared. There is a question. Do you need a MBA accreditation? Answer for this question is yes. In order to get the recognition like a, you can proudly say that our MBA HR program is accredited by MBA for 6 years. Even like MBA marketing programs got 3 years accreditations. You can also get the various benefits from the government of various governments like AICT also. You can also increase the intake of your program from 60 to 120 and other benefits like a fee structure. There are some states where the fee structure of the accredited programs are not same as non-accredited programs. There is another question. Does MBA, means National Board of Accreditation, gives the accreditation for a college? Answer for this question is no. MBA gives accreditation for a program, not for college, not for the department. However, some college claims that our college is accredited by MBA. That is wrong. Even several institutions, several departments also claim that our department is accredited by MBA. That is wrong. Means one of your programs in your department may be accredited by MBA, but it not mean that all your programs are accredited by MBA in your departments like a MBA HR, MBA marketing, MBA finance, like that. MBA gives accreditation for only for program, not for the college, like a MBA HR, MBA marketing, like that. There is another question. In a single application, how many programs we can apply MBA accreditation? Answer for this question is that in a single application, you can submit the 5 programs as a maximum that is allowed. There is another question. In a single application, shall we apply MBA accreditation for multiple programs like a MBA, BTech ECE, MCA, MTech Computer Science? Like, in the sense, there are some engineering colleges, they have a UG program in engineering, they have a PG program like MTech, even MCA, MBA also. In a single application, shall we submit the accreditation for all this program? In a single application itself. Answer for this question is that yes, you can apply different programs like MBA, BTech, ECE, MCA, MTech Computer Science in a single application, but the maximum 5 programs can be allowed. There is another question. What do you mean the academic year? There are some issues with respect to academic year. When you're taking the financial year, it starts with April to March. If you take English year, it starts with the January to December. I have seen there are some university, it starts with June to May. But with respect to MBA point of view, academic year start with July of the year and end with June of next year. For example, when you want to take the academic year is 2018-19, in the sense it start with July and end with June 2019. In the sense 2018 starts, it end with June 2009. That is the meaning of that one. Now, there is another question. How many years the validity we can claim for a MBA accreditation program? Let's assume that our MBA program is accredited by MBA. Means how many number of years the validity we can claim? The meaning of that question. As per the norms of the National Board of Accreditation, with respect to UG, PG, means UG in the sense engineering program, PG engineering program, MBA programs, pharmacy program, hotel management programs, diploma, in the sense diploma program is there, no? That programs, you will get the either 3 years of accreditation or 6 years accreditation. When it comes to Master of Computer Application programs, you will get the either 2 years or 5 years accreditation. Now, there is another question. What is the duration of MBA regular visits? Means the team spent at the college or it may be the department. In the sense, after once you are submitting the self-assessment reports, how many now, what is the duration of the visit? What is the duration of the visit? The team will visit to the your college or department. The meaning of that question. Now, answer for this question is that number of programs applied by the college is more than 2 or equal to 2, then the duration of the visit is 3. Let's assume that in your department you have a 3 specialization. Let's assume that MBA HR, MBA finance, MBA marketing. Means your college, if you go all 3 programs, then the duration of the visit is 3. In case your college is applied only 2 programs, in the sense like MBA marketing, MBA finance, let's assume that, then the duration of the visit is, I mean, if less than 2, then it is a 2 days visits. Now, my humble request, all the faculty members, once the MBA is over, don't throw all the files which are you maintain for the MBA accreditation purpose. Why I'm telling this one is that MBA may send a surprise team to the college, so that to visit the college. It is a special case. It is a one-day visit. Of course, this visit is rare case. It may not for applicable for the all college. If anything suspicious, if the MBA people if come to know, then they will send the one-day visit. Now, there is another question. Does National Board of Accreditation need ratification from the university for all appointments? There are some university which need ratification of all college or faculty members. The meaning of this question is that answer for this is that ratification is not required for all appointments. However, your qualification as well as the experience must be as per the ACT norms. In case if your college belongs to UGC control, then it's UGC norms is applicable to you. Like any university, it comes under UGC control, then they have to go university control, then it will be UGC norms. In case if all assistant professors and associate professors and professors in your departments all are ratified by the university, that is very good, but it is not necessary for all. Now, there is another question. What is the SFR value? I mean, 1:15, 1:20, 1:25, we have to keep. And since several things people may ask that one, whether we have to go for the SFR value is 1:25 or 1:20, 1:25, the meaning of that one. Answer for this question is that don't mix with the ACT norms with National Board of Accreditation rules. While calculating the SFR value, ACT takes program level. In sense, whichever the programs you want to start, for example, if you want to start MBA HR, they will take what is the SFR value. Whereas NBA means National Board of Accreditation consider all the programs in your department. And let us assume that in your department there are 3 programs like MTech HR, MTech Finance, MBA HR, MBA Finance, MBA Marketing. They will take while calculating SFR, they will take the all 3 programs. That's meaning out of them. Now, in order to get the 3 years MBA accreditations, the average of SFR value should be below 25 is required. In the sense, average of 3 years. In the sense, CAY, CAY minus 1, CAY minus 2. When you are calculating that this SFR value should be below 25 is required. If you cross 25, then you will not get the accreditation. In case if you want to get a 6 years accreditation with respect to your programs, then the average SFR value should be below 15 for the average of 3 years. CAY, CAY minus 1, CAY minus 2. This average of 2 years, the SFR value should be below 15. There is another question. Whom to be considered as a contractual faculty member? In a sense, there are 2 types of faculty. One is regular faculty, another one is a contractual faculty. Whom to be considered as a contractual faculty? Answer for this question is that the faculty member who are getting the consolidated salary are a faculty member who are appointed on the ad hoc basis for a particular period, then we will consider such faculty members as a contractual faculty. There is another question. Do we consider the part-time faculty while calculating the SFR value? Answer for this question is no. We will not count the part-time faculty as well as hourly based faculty. There are some colleges in some departments, they have a hourly based faculty. In that case, we will not count them while calculating the SFR value. Now, there is another question. Does MBA consider the lecturer post in the departments or maybe the programs? Answer for this question is no. As per the AICTE norms, even as per the UGC norms, there is no post called lecturer either in 6th pay or it may be the 7th pay. Even if any faculty who hold PhD degree also will not consider if that guy holding the lecturer post. Now, there is another question. Sir, there is some noise is coming, sir. I think host, I think, sir, I think there is worse. Yeah, there is another question. Does MBA consider the contractual faculty members who are on the full-time basis in academic year while calculating the SFR value? Answer for this question is yes. The faculty member who served or worked in 2 consecutive semesters of corresponding academic year. In the sense, for example, if any faculty, if you are working as a contractual faculty, if you want to count while calculating the SFR, you should work both semester, odd semester as well as even semester. For example, 2018-19. When I say the 2018, you should be work both first semester as well as second semester, means odd semester, even semester on full-time basis, then we will consider them. There is another question. Does MBA consider principal or maybe the director? Some college they will give the director, some college they will give principal as a faculty while calculating the SFR value in the department. Let's assume that in your department, there is one faculty is there. That guy is also is director, but same time he is also a faculty member in the MBA department. Let's assume that. So shall we consider the SFR value? Answer for this question is no, they will not consider. There is another question. Does MBA consider the age limit for the visiting faculty member? Means if there is any age limit for the visiting faculty, the meaning of this question. Answer for this question is that there is no age limit for the visiting faculty members as long as the visiting faculty member fit to take the classes, we will consider. But there is no age limit for them. Even the qualification also, for example, if you have MBA, I mean, if you are going for MBA department, then if you have MBA qualification, then sufficient. Now, there is another question, whom to be considered as a faculty members while calculating the SFR value. Now, I want to calculate the SFR value for my department, but which are the faculty I have to consider? Because we have a two type of faculty. One is regular faculty, another one is contractual faculty. So some people have also joined in the middle of the year. Let us assume like that. Answer for this question is that yes, you can count all the faculty members who are joined on or before 31st of the August of the same year, and a particular faculty has to be continued till 30 of the April of the subsequent year. For example, you take the academic year is 2018-19. You take this small example here. Now, if you want to count any faculty, you should join. If you join on before August 2018, and you should continue till April 30. Here is 31st with respect here before honor before 30, and he has same faculty has to continue the April. In that case, we will consider him. For example, if any faculty member who joined after September, let's assume that September 3rd, some faculty has joined. In that case, we will not count him as a faculty member for that assessment year. Let's assume that some faculty has joined September 2018, then we will not count him as a faculty. Now, even some of the faculty member during the assessment year 2018-19, one of the faculty he resigned middle of the year. Let us assume that in the month of the March, then that faculty also will not count. Will not count. Now, I want to say one more thing. Let us assume that you are a government servant. If you are transferred in the middle of the year, in that case, such case also will applicable same. We will not count him as a faculty member in that assessment year. The rules are same for all, whether it is government college or private college, the rule will be same. If any faculty who are there in this assessment period, in the sense before 31st August, and he has to be there till 30. If he join middle of the year, or if he resign middle of the year, if he transfer to other colleges, then they will not count him. Even though if you are government or something, also they will not do it. They will not consider. Now, there is another question. What is the minimum qualification is needed a faculty member? Let's assume that in any colleges, whether it may be the MBA college, or maximum engineering college will have a MBA department also. Now, for example, to take with respect to MBA faculty. For MBA programs, those who are working in MBA department, they need minimum qualification is IME, MBA degree is required, or sometimes equivalence degree as per the LCT norms, or it may be the UGC norm. In your college, if any engineering department are there, then the required minimum qualification is ME or equivalence degree. In case if you have any science and humanities departments, then you require MSc or ME or equivalence degree is required. These are the minimum. If you have a PhD, that's good. But these are the minimum things you require. That's what I want to say to you. Now, there is another question. Does National Board of Accreditations recognize the degree from the deemed university or abroad university? The maximum people, this, so many, when I go for the presentation, maximum college, they will ask, sir, we have a faculty member from the deemed university. We have a faculty member from the abroad university. Do MBA will consider those faculty? They will ask this type of questions. Answer for this question is that yes, as long as ACT recognize these deemed university, even if UGC recognize these deemed university, then MBA National Board of Accreditation will also recognize. If ACT, if it is not recognize those universities degree programs, even MBA also will not recognize. That's meaning that. See, ACT is a supreme body. So our UGC, like that, we can say that. If those higher bodies, if they recognize, even MBA also, National Board of Accreditation also will be recognized. Now, there is another question. Shall National Board of Accreditation consider the associate professors or professors without PhD degree? Let's assume that in my department, there are a couple of faculty members, those who are working as a professor, even associate professor without PhD degree. Shall MBA, National Board of Accreditation, consider them as a associate professor level or professor level? The meaning of the question. Answer for this question is that no. It's very clear. As per the ACT norms, even as per the UGC norms, whether it is 6th pay or 7th pay for associate professors as well as professor level, you need a PhD degree, whether it may be the 6th pay or 7th pay. That is a norms. Now, there is another question. During the MBA regular visit, how many expert committee members will visit to the department or college? In a sense, let's assume that our HR program, means the Master of Business Application program, HR, we are submitting to the SAR to the MBA. How many expert committee will visit to the my department? The meaning of the question. Answer for this question is that if the particular program is UG or PG programs, then number of expert committee member is 2. In the sense, when I say that PG, even it is a MBA, even MCA, even MTech, even MBA also will come to that. So the number of people they will come for your department is 2. Let's assume that in your college there are 5 programs if they apply. Let's assume that all UG like a PG programs let's assume that 5. In that case 5 into 2. In the sense 12 people they will come. In addition to 10, there is a 1 person chairman. So totally 11 people will come if you apply 5 programs. In case if a program is diploma programs, the number of expert committee will come is 1. Means 1 guy will come and evaluate that. If it is diploma program. Now there is another question. Does MBA consider the UG faculty members in the department while calculating the SFR value? What is the meaning of this one is that there are some colleges with respect to Master of Business Application departments, they have some UG program also. For example, BBA means Bachelor of Business Administrative, or even MCOM also they have. Even they have a MBA also. In the sense, in the same department you have a UG program also. There are some colleges like MBA college, they have some provision also. In that case, whether some of the faculty you may be having a dedicated for the UG, some of the faculty member you may be having a dedicated for the PG also. But I already told that since MBA while calculating the SFR value, we will take both UG as well as PG. Both faculty will take it. Now, while considering the SFR value is calculated for the department, including the UG faculty members. SFR value is equivalent to number of students with respect to UG. In case with respect to your department, you have UG programs, then first year students, second year students, third year student of the UG of all. In the sense, let's assume that you have a BBA, even MCOM, in the sense 2 UG program, then all the student is required. You have to keep, while calculating SFR, you have to keep all first year UG, second year UG, third year. In case another UG program if you have, then those people also you have to add. Plus PG students. In the sense, first year students, second year students of all PG program students. If you have two PG programs, like a MBA HR, MBA marketing, then two you have to add all two UG and PG programs also, first year, second year also, divided by total number of faculty member. The faculty member you may be UG or it may be the PG. You have to add both. Okay. Now there is another question. Do you use separate format for the tier 1 or tier 2 for MBA programs? In the sense, with respect to UG engineering programs, you have a separate format. One is the tier 1 format, another is tier 2 formats. Tier 1 format generally, for the MBA, National Board of Accreditation, they will use for the autonomous colleges. Tier 2, it is an affiliated college, in the sense, non-autonomous institutions. That is UG engineering programs. But what about MBA programs? That's meaning of the question. With respect to these questions, answer is no. As of now, there is no separate format for the non-autonomous college MBA programs, autonomous college MBA programs. In the sense, all the colleges which are offering the Master of Business Application, I mean MBA programs, have to use the same format only as of now. Yeah, now I'm talking about the pre-qualifier conditions. This is the pre-qualifier. What are the pre-qualifier conditions? Now, regarding the pre-qualifier, all the programs have to be satisfied pre-qualifier conditions that are set by the National Board of Accreditations. Then only they are eligible to submit the SAR. SAR in the sense self-assessment reports. Now, there are 6 conditions. If you look at there are 6 conditions has to be satisfied before submitting the SAR to the MBA, means National Board of Accreditation, to the New Delhi. And next slides, I'm explaining them in detail so that all your doubts will be clear. Now, if you look at there, condition 1, at least 3 batch students should be passed out. In the sense, at least 3 batch student has to be passed out. For example, there is a program in your department, the program name called MBA HR program. If you are applying for this program for the MBA accreditation, what you require that at least 3 batches of this program student has to be passed out. In a sense, at least 3 batches should be passed out, like a last year graduation, last year graduation -1, last year graduation -2. Means at least 3 batch student has to be passed out. This is the sanction intake admitted. That's meaning out of it. And the below table, means this table shows the 3 batches students passed out with respect to HR, MBA HR programs. Means 3 batches has already passed out. Yes, this condition, it is satisfying the pre-qualifier conditions. That's meaning out of it. Condition 2, number of available PhD holders in the department is greater than or equal to 20% of required faculty. Means this should be average value for the 2 years, COI, CO -2. In the sense, number of available PhD holders with respect to your departments is 20% of average of 2 assessment year, in the sense academic year, COI, CO -1. With respect to this example, I have taken COI is 2019-20, COI -1 is 2018-19. I am taking a small example. In case your COI is now this year, I think 2021, but I have taken 19-20 for understanding purpose. Now, for example, let's assume that in your MBA HR programs, the total number of students are 120. 120 in the sense you have a first year is 60 students, second year is 60 students. I'm assuming that in your department, MBA department, you have only one program. Let's assume that. And the total number of students is 120. In the sense, sir, there was some sound, sir. I think, sir. Yeah, there are there are 120 students. In a sense, the sanction intake is 60. First year is 60, second year 60. So total number of students is 120. Then there is a formula with respect to, sir, there was some sound, sir. Sir, admin, sir.
Sir, I have muted it.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Then the required number of faculty member, there is a formula. So total number of student is divided by 20. 1 is to 20. They will say that 1 is to 20 in the sense total number of students divided by 20. So your sanction intake is 120, 60 in the sense 60 plus 60. First year is 60, second year is 60. So totally 120. So 120 divided by 20, how much? It is 6. In the sense, means you require number of faculty is 6. But out of 6, how many faculty members should be have a PhD degree? That's meaning of that. So the required faculty member should be, PhD holder should be 1.2. How it is 1.2 in the sense, it is a 20% average of 2 years. In the sense, your required faculty is 6 multiplied to 0.2, how much it is 1 point for with respect to this example here. Now here, this below, this table for the assessment year 2019-20 as well as 18-19. Generally, no, we will take COY, CO minus 1 only. We will not take the consideration COY minus 2. With respect to average of PhD holder, with respect to 2 academic year, COY, CO minus 1. 6 plus 6, how much? Average if you take, it is a 6. Yes, average number of PhD holders are 6. But you require only 1.2 with respect to this example. But you have a 6 PhD holder. It is satisfying the preferred condition. Of course, you require only 1.2, but your management, has kind enough now to recruit more number of PhD holders in your department. So you have 6 PhD holders. So this condition, it is satisfying the pre-qualified condition. Now, condition 3. Admission should be more than 60% of 60% of the seat in the program should be filled, and it is an average value. In the sense, the program which you are going for MBA accreditation, with respect to that particular programs, 60% of the seat has to fill. In the sense, it should be average of 3 years, COY, CO minus 1, CO minus 2. For example, this is, I already told it, this is with respect to the program only. Let us assume that you are going for MBA HR program for MBA accreditation. Let us assume that. Now, with respect to 2018 and with respect to here, COY is 1920, CO minus 1 is 1819, CO minus 1 is 2017-18. Let us assume that COY 1920, your sanction intake is 60, but admitted student is 60. Like that, 2018, your sanction intake is 60, but admitted student is 60. For the COY minus 1, your sanction intake is 60, admitted is 59. So for the past 3 years, your sanction intake 60 plus 60 plus 60, how much? It is 180. But how many number of students are admitted for the past 3 years? 60 plus 60 plus 59. Because of COY minus 2, only one guy has not joined. Remaining all the people have signed. So it's been 179. So there is a formula. Means percentage enrollment, student enrollment is equal to number of students is admitted divided by total number of sanction. That's meaning of that for the past 3 years. So 179 divided by 180, it is a 99.44. So one of the pre-qual condition is that 60% of the seat has to be filled, means average of 3 years. So, but your programs, 99.4% of the seats has filled for the past 3 years. So it is satisfying the pre-qualifier condition. That's meaning of that. Now, condition 4. Here you have two options. Option A as well as option B. There are two options. Now, when you're talking about option 4A, I'll call it the 4A. In 4A, either you require 2 regular professors, or 4B, either you require 1 regular professor and 1 regular associate professor is required with PhD, the program which you are going for MBA accreditation with respect to department, in the particular department. for the COI, COI minus 1. Now here, one more thing I want to say here. Here we are not seeing the what is your sanction intake, whether it is 60 or 120 or 180. We are just seeing how many professors you have for the past 2 years, COI, CO minus 1. And we are also seeing the how many associate professor you have with respect to your department towards this specialization for the past 2 years. 2 years you require COI, CO minus 1. Here, have you observed here one more thing here? We are not at all seeing the COI minus 2. In the sense, we will not count, we will not consider the, we will consider only COI, CO minus 1, not for the CO minus 2. And below these tables, you have a 3 professors, 3 regular professors, or in the sense regular professor. See, in the sense contractual domains, you have 3 regular professors. For the COI, even here also CO minus 1, so you have 3 regular professors. With respect to 2019-20, you have a 2 associate professors. Here, COI minus 1, you have 2 regular professors. You don't have any contractual faculty in your department. Let's assume that this is the scenario. I'm assuming that. Now, condition A itself, no, you are satisfying. See, you require 2 professors for the COI, CO minus 1. Here you have 3 professors, here 3 professors, but you require only 2, condition A itself. No need to check for the condition B, because see, condition A itself, no, it is satisfying. Condition A itself. No need to check the condition B. But with respect to it here, even condition B also, it is satisfying. Condition A also satisfying. Condition B also, it is satisfying. So, means here it is satisfying the pre-qualifier conditions. Now, here placement ratio. Now, condition 5 mainly talks about the placement ratio. Placement ratio, it is a consist of 3 things. One is number of students secured the job in the company. Means how many number of people have secured job in the company, or sometimes even government sector also. Second is number of students went for higher studies. Like for example, some people they will go for the PhD. Yes, even so any other people if they went for any other higher studies, that can also be considered. Now, condition another these number of students becoming entrepreneur. X is placement, Y is higher studies, Z is entrepreneur. That's meaning of it. Means placement ratio should be equal or more than 60% average of 3 years. 3 years in the sense COI, CO minus 1, CO minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Now, here, with respect to you take this is the example here. For the assessment academic year 2018-19, those who are passed out in this year, 2018-19, those who passed out in that year, there are in that particular batch, those in this 2018-19, those who passed out, with respect to that batch, there are 60 people are admitted. How many number of people? Out of 60, 45 people have scored the, secured the job. 7 people they have joined for higher studies, and 2 people become an entrepreneur. So X plus Y plus Z, it is 54. 54 divided by 60, how much? It is 0.9. This is that. That means placement index is 0.9. Now, with respect to COI minus 2, 17-18, it is a 0.83. Now, if you take same things 2016-17, placement index is 0.8. What you have to do is that you have to take the average of 3 years, because of average of 3, no, this is. So average of 3 years, when you do here 0.84, in the sense percentage is 84%. In the sense, you need only 60, you require only 60%, but your placement ratio is 84%. So here this condition also satisfying the pre-qualified condition. Now, condition 6. Condition 6 is mainly talks about the SFR. SFR in the sense student faculty ratio with respect to your program should be less than 25. In the sense 25. it should be average of 3 years in the sense COY, CO minus 1, COY minus 2. Now, let's assume that the program which you are going for MBA accreditation, now you take the small scenario here. Now you take your MBA HR program is going for accreditation. Let you take that. Your MBA HR program sanction intake is 60. I'm also assuming that you don't have any UG program. In the sense you don't have a BBA or BCom like that in your department. And with respect to here, COY, CO minus 1, CO minus 2, number of faculty, I am assuming that there are 10 faculty for the COY. CO minus 1, you have 10 faculty. CO minus 2, you have a 9 faculty. I'm assuming the past 3 years. Now, I already told that since you don't have a UG programs, so the value is here 0. Now, in case you have UG programs, then you have to put the UG number of that number you have to put here. Now I'm assuming that in your department you have only one PG program, so that is the reason only first year. P1 in the sense 60. The number of students in first year, number of students in second year. If you have any other PG programs, then you have to start P2 to 1, P2 to also you have to start. You have 3 PG programs, then you have to put 3 PG programs students details here. So with respect to this example, I've taken only in your department MBA HR program only you have. So you don't have UG program. So first year, second year, how many number of students are there? 120. So total number of students is 120. I'm assuming that in your department there are 10 faculty here. So 120 divided by 10, how much? Your SFR is 1. With respect to 2018-19, your total number of students is 120. I'm assuming that your number of faculties are there in your department is 10. So here also SFR is 10. But 2017-18, I'm assuming that your total number of students is 120. But number of faculty is 19. So 120 divided by 19, how much? It is 13.3. So average of SFR for the past 3 years, COY, CO minus 1, CO minus 2, it is 12.44. So with respect to here, this value is less than 25. In sense, means up to 24, it can be allowed, but your SFR value is coming 12.4. So it is clear the pre-qualifier condition. Now I want to say one more thing here. Some colleges, if MBA program seats are not filled, then what that case? If the seats are not filled, then it is your problem. That is not MBA problem. So in that case, you have to take the sanction intake only. Let's assume that your sanction intake, your HR program is 60, but only 40 people if they admitted, in the sense you cannot keep 40. You have to keep only sanction intake. Okay. You cannot take the admitted students with respect to this case. Now there is another case. In case if you are admitted more than sanction intake, then in that case you have to take the admitted students. In a sense, for example, your MBA program sanction intake is 60, but you have admitted 65 students. In that case, you have to take the actual number of students, whichever is higher. That's meaning of that. Now, with respect to your programs, I already told that the pre-qualifier, you have to satisfy the 6 conditions has to satisfy before submitting self-assessment report. So once if you submit the all 6 conditions, the system it will generate. Okay, if anything if all conditions are satisfied, then you'll get the output is like that, compile. It means that you have fulfilled the minimum requirement so that you are eligible to submit the self-assessment report with respect to your programs. That's meaning of it. Now, in case any conditions out of 6, I already told that for pre-qualifier you have a 6 condition has to be satisfied. If any condition if you are not fulfilled, then system it clearly shows that not compiled. Why is not compiled? In the sense, I will take a small example for understanding purpose here in example 1, example 2. Now, required faculty, average required for faculty means, let's assume that in your MBA program is there. With respect to that MBA programs, required faculty is 10 for the 2 years. Required faculty means I already told that you take there number of available PhD in the management departments. 20% of the required faculty with PhD COY CO minus 1. So with respect to COI, CO minus for the 2 years, let us assume that required faculty is 10 for your case. Let us assume that. So required faculty 10 in the sense you require 2 PhD holders because you have to multiply to 20%. No, so you required 2 PhD holders, but unfortunately in your department you have 1 PhD holder. So because you have lagging 1 PhD holder, that's why system will clearly say that you have not compiled. In the sense, this condition, no, it's not fulfilled. That's meaning of that. Now, with respect to another case, let's assume that your sanction intake, average of 3 years means you have admitted the average of 3 years 182. In the sense, for the COI minus 1, COI minus 2, average of 3 years, your sanction intake is, admitted student is 182. Let's assume that 182, average of 3 years, COI minus 1. You assume that average of faculty for the past 3 years, COI minus 2, COI minus COI minus 1, COI minus 2, number of faculty is 6. So 182 divided by 6, how much? It is a 26. So what happened here? Your SFR, it is crossing 25, about 25. 182 divided by 6, how much? It is a 26 only. So your SFR value, it is crossing the 26. Even if you cross 25.1, then you are not eligible for submitting this SAR. That's all. It's very clear. Now I am talking about the list of the criteria as well as marks distribution with respect to Master of Business Application programs. In a sense, each criteria, what are the marks is there, how many criteria are there, that's meaning of that. Now, you take here a list of the criteria marks with respect to evaluation. SAR means self-assessment report consists of the 10 criteria. You can find 10 criteria, like 10 criteria. And total number of marks is 1000 marks. The marks are not same for all the criteria. There are 10 criteria are there. If you look at there all the criteria, the marks will not be same. For example, you take the criteria 6, the faculty attributes and contribution is a 220 marks. It is the highest mark with respect to all the, if you compare with other criteria. Now, if you take that vision mission criteria 1 and program education, it carries only 50 marks. Yes, marks. Now, I can say that criteria 6 is very powerful criteria because it is hard, I can say that. Now, means evaluator will assess the from criteria 1 to criteria 10, and this guys means evaluator will assess the 1000 marks. The total marks is 1000 marks. See here, once the evaluator finalizing the marks, it is duly approved by the chairman of the visiting committee. I already told that whenever there is any visiting committee is coming to your department, then 2 evaluator will come with respect to MBA. I'm talking with Master Business Application Program. So 2 people plus 1 chairman will come. So if you are going alone 1 program in that case. Now I'm talking about the provisional accreditation for the 3 years. Now sometimes people say that we submitted self-assessment report after MBA team visits our programs got 3 years accreditations. They say that one, some very happy mood like that. Yeah, in order to get the 3 years of accreditation, you have to fulfill these 7 conditions. I already told that, no? These 7 conditions, they have to fulfill. I will explain them in details in next slides. Now, condition 1, the program should score more than 600 marks or equal to 600 marks. That's your requirement. Minimum one of the condition is that, for example, your MBA with Master of Business Application HR program, means specialization is HR programs, is scored 769 marks. Means your department, you have a HR program, MBA HR program. The particular program has scored 760 marks out of 1000. Yeah, this is the marks. This is the mark total marks. This is the marks with respect to your program. They got 769. This example will clear the 3 years of accreditation. See, it is left to see your minimum marks is 600, but you got 769 marks. So you are eligible for to get the 3 years of accreditation. This is an example. I'm saying 3 years of accreditation. Now, condition 2, the program should be scored more than 40% of the marks are equal to 40% of the total marks, I mean, in criteria of 6, 220 marks. In a sense, for example, you take your MBA HR programs has scored 180 marks out of 200. You take criteria 6. If you take criteria 6, the faculty attribute contribution, it carry the 220 marks. 40% in the sense, minimum you should score 88. In the sense, in order to get the accreditation, 3 years of accreditation, you have to supposed to score 88. Some people will say that, sir, we got 600 marks, but unfortunately, with respect to criteria 6, we got 87. In that case, you will not get the accreditation. Even if you get 900 marks, with respect to criteria 6, if you get 87, you will not get accreditation. If at all, if you want to get accreditation, whichever the criteria, if you want to score, you score. But with respect to the criteria 6, minimum 40% of the marks is required. Plus, you have to score 600 marks. That's meaning of that one. Now, if any one of the out of total number of conditions, I already told that there are 7 conditions. If any one condition, if you not fulfill, then you will not get the 3 years of accreditation. Now, with respect to this example, your HR program, he got 180 out of 200 or 220 marks. So it is, this example will clear the 3 years of accreditation. Now, condition 3, at least 20% of average required faculty members with PhD degree for the CFY, I mean 1920, CFY -1 is 2018-19, with the ratio is 1:20. I will explain why is required 1:20. Now, with respect to this example, I am assuming that your MBA department has a no UG program. I mean BBA, BCom, something like that. You don't have any UG program. And I'm assuming that in your department, MBA department, have only one PG program. So sanction intake is 60. So 60 is first year students. Another 60, second year student. Total number of students is 120. Now, what is the meaning of 1:20 is that 20 students, you require 1 faculty. That's meaning of that one. So how many students are there? 120. 60 plus 60, 120. So how many faculty you require? 120 divided by 20. So you required faculty is 6. Required faculty is 6. Now, how many number of required faculty with PhD? So the required faculty with PhD is that 1.2. How you got 1.2? Because the required faculty is 6. So multiplying to 0.2, how much? It is a 1.2. Now, if you take here the below table, I already told that your sanction intake is 60. So you required 1.2 PhD holder is required for this year, CFY. CFY also you required 1.2 PhD holder is required. If you take average of 2 years, you required 1.2. But I'm assuming that in your department, you have 6 PhD holders for the CFY, CFY -1. I'm assuming that your management is kind enough to recruit the more number of PhD holders. I'm assuming that. So you have 2 years, 6. So average of 2 years, how many PhD holders? 6. But you require only 1.2, but you have 6. So this example will clear the 3 years accreditation. Now, condition 4, student enrollment with respect to the program. I mean the program which you are going for MBA accreditations at the department level is above 60% average of 3 years, CFY, CFY -1, CFY -2. Let's assume that in your HR, MBA HR programs, sanction intake is 60. So for the sanction, so number of students admitted for the CFY is 60. Year 18-19, sanction is 60, admitted is 60. 2017, sanction is 60, but admitted is 50. So if you take the sanction intake for the past 3 years is 180. If you take the admitted number of students for the past 3 years, you check 60 plus 60 plus 50. So it is 179 for the past 3 years. Now, what is the number of percentage of students admitted? Admitted student divided by sanction intake for the past 3 years. So it is 99.4. So this example will clear the 3 years of accreditation. Now I want to say one more thing here. Let's assume that your sanction intake is 60, but you are admitted 65. Let's assume that. In that case, all past 3 years, you are admitted 65, 65. Then in that case, your number of admitted student is more than 100%. No problem. You just, even that enrollment is, even if it cross 100% also, no problem. You just give it. It clearly shows that your program is very good. That is the reason only people are admitted. Sometime like you have so many quotas, like ACT quota, Jammu and Kashmir quota. Some quotas will be there because backward quota, something like that. So because through that quota, you may be admitted more than sanction intake. In that case, you just put whatever the sanction intake are admitted students. And don't think that it is already crossed more than 100. Like no, not like that. You just give clear-cut information. Let me transparency so that evaluation will be very easy for them. Now, condition 5. I already told that with respect to CA, two conditions means condition A, condition B. Either any one of the condition, it has to be satisfied. Now, condition A, at least you require 2 regular professors, or condition B, at least 1 regular professors and 1 regular associate professor with PhD for the COI, CO -1. I am assuming that your HR, means MBA HR program, the intake is 60. I am also assuming that all these seats are filled and there is no UG program. You take it for the year 2019-20, total number of students is 120. This is the first year students, PG. This is the second year PG. I'm assuming that you are having only one PG program. Now, there is a formula. The required faculty members is total number of students divided by 20. 1:20, no? So how many faculty is required? 6. In that case, how many professors is required? There is a formula. So the number of professors is required is that 1/9 multiply into number of required faculty. So 1/9, 6 is nothing but required faculty. So you require 0.67 required faculty is required. Okay. Now, how many number of required associate professor? There is a formula. So required number of associate professor is equal to 2/9 into required faculty. 2/9. Okay. What is the required faculty here? 6. So when you multiply this, you're getting 1.3. How many number of associate professors are required? Required in the sense 6/9 multiply into required faculty. 6/9 multiply into required faculty is 6. So 4 is required. So this is the. I am assuming that with respect to your departments, you have a 3 professors for the COI, CO -1. For the associate professor point of view, you have a 2 associate professors for these 2 consecutive years. But for you to get the 3 years of accreditation, you require only 2 professors, but you have a 3 professor for each year. COI also you have 3 professors. CO -1 also you have a 3 professors. I mean 2 consecutive years, you have 3 professors. Now, no need to check for the condition B. Condition A itself, you are satisfying. No need to check for the condition B. Even if at all, if you want to check the condition B, that is also you are satisfied. Yeah, now I'm talking about condition 6. The placement here, the placement ratio is equivalent to more than 60% is average of 3 years are equal for the COI, CO -1, CO -2. You have to take the, sorry, this is the COI because there is a typing mistake, COI, CO -1, CO -1, CO -2, CO -3. You have to take it. In the sense, you have to take, start with CO -1, -2, -3. What is the admitted students? Out of 60, 45 students are placed in the campus, or off campus or on campus, it doesn't matter. Now, out of 67 people are admitted the higher studies. Out of 62 people become an entrepreneur. So if you add it, all the things, it will be 54. So 54 divided by 60, how much? It is a 0.9. Placement index is 0.9. But the CO -50 divided by 60, it is 0.8. So to get the 3 years of accreditation, no, it is 60. But how much of percentage you have? 84%. So this condition also will clear the 3 years of accreditation. Now I'm talking about the SFR value. Now SFR value in the department with respect to your program should be less than 25. In the sense, one faculty you require 25 students. It should be average of 3 years, COI, CO -1, CO -2. Let's assume that in your HR programs, it is sanction intake 60. I'm assuming that there is no UG programs, and number of faculty with respect to 3 years but in your department is 10. This is the another next COI minus 1 is 10. Another COI minus 2 is 9. Now, when you're calculating the SFR value, because I'm assuming that you don't have UG program, I'm also assuming that you have only one PG program. So because this is the first year students, this is the second year. In case you have another PG program, then you have to put P2.1 plus P2.2. You have to add it. So how many number of PG students are there? So here 120 divided by 10, how much? 12. If you take the SFR value is 2017-18, total number of students is 120 divided by 9, it is 13.3. So you have to take the average of 3 years, how much you are getting? 12.4. But you see here, to get the 3 years of accreditation, the SFR value in the department should be less than 25. So this value is less than 25 only. So this example will clearly will give the clear the 3 years of accreditation. Yeah. Now I'm talking about the accreditation for the 6 years. In order to get the 6 years accreditations, what are the conditions we have to fulfill? Up to my knowledge, because I went more than 40 to 45 MBA visits, I have not seen any college whose MBA programs, MBA programs got the 6 years accreditation. I don't know whether if any college is there or not. Because this I'm telling my personal opinion. I don't know if any college got 6 years accreditation, but maximum college they will get only 3 years of accreditation. Yeah. Sometimes people will say that we have submitted SIR, we have MBA team visits, and we got 6 years accreditation for our programs. Yeah. In order to fulfill the 6 years accreditation, you have to satisfy the 8 conditions. I'm explaining them in details in next slides. Yeah. Let us assume the condition 1. The student enrollment with respect to the program which you are going for MBA accreditations, 75% of the seat has to be filled for the average of 3 years year-wise, CO minus 1, CO minus 2. In case you want to get this 3 years accreditation, it is 60%. If you want to get the 6 years accreditation, it is a 75%. In the sense, let us assume that your sanction intake for the average of 3 years is 60, then 75% in the sense, how much? 75 into sanction intake is 60 multiplied to 0.75. In the sense, average 45 means 45 student has to be enrolled, means registered with respect to that program, then you are eligible. Minimum 45 student has to be filled. Now with respect, now you take here. Now your sanction intake for the CFI is 18, 19, 17, 18. The sanction intake 60. But admitted students are like a 60, 60, 50 for the past 3 years. So the sanction intake for the past 3 years is 180. Admitted number of students for the past 3 years is 179, because you have to take the, you have to sum all the 3 years. So sanction intake also 3 years, admitted also 3 years. So 179 divided by 180, how much? It is 99.4. To get the 6 years accreditations, average of 3 years admission should be 75, but you are getting 99.44. So this condition will clearly shows that you are eligible for the 6 years accreditation, if it is your case. Now, condition 2. So at least in order to get the 3 years of accreditation, you require only 20%. But when you, in order to get the 6 years accreditation, you require 33% average of required faculty with PhD holders. So the difference between there and here, you require 33% here. There is only 20% for the CFI, CF minus 1. Let's assume that your MBA department has no UG program like a BBA, a BCom. No, you don't have something. I'm assuming that you have only one PG program like a MBA HR programs, and the intake is 60. 60 for the first year students, 60 for the second year students. So total number of students is 120. Now, have you observed here? There we did 1:20. In the sense, total number of students divided by year is 15 we are being. But when it comes to 6 years, 3 years of accreditation, we did 20. 120 divided by 20 we did. So there, it's required 60. But to get this 6 years accreditation, to get a 6 year accreditation, you have to do 1:15. In the sense, 8 faculty is required. There you require only 6 faculty for the 3 years. So required faculty is 8 here with respect to this example to get a 6 year accreditation. So required faculty is 2.64 is required. In the sense, 8 into multiply into 0.3. In a sense, you require 2.6. Now, you take COI, CO minus 1. Required PhD holders is 2.64, 2.64. If you take average is 2.64. But I'm assuming that your department, MBA department, you have a 6 PhD holder for the COI, CO minus 1. So average, if you take here, it is a 6. So you required only 2.64, but in your department, average number of PhD holders is 6 you have. It is more than 33%. So this case will help you to get the 6 years accreditation. Yeah. Now I'm talking about condition 3. Here is you have 2 options. Condition 3. At least 2 regular professors are, this is condition A, or condition B, at least 1 regular professors and 1 associate professor is required PhD degree for the COI, COI minus 1. We are not focusing on the COI minus 2. We are just only focusing on the COI, COI minus 1. In these 2 assessment year, either you have to satisfy condition A or condition B. Now, let us assume that your HR program is in sanction intake is 60. I'm assuming that all the seats are filled and no UG program, like a BCom, something like that. Now, for example, you take the COI minus 1, COI minus 1, COI 1920. Total number of students is 120. Listen, this is the first year student, this is the second year student, it is 120. So what is the required faculty is 120 divided by 20. When you comes to required number of PhD, that case, we'll do 15. But when required faculty point of view, we'll do 1:20 only. So required faculty is 20. So there is a formula, the professor. This is the, how many number of required faculty professors are required? There is a formula, 1 divided by number of required faculty. So 1 by 9, yes, 1 by 9. So how many required faculty here? You have a 6. So it is a 0.67. Now how many number of associate professor is required? 2 by 9 multiplied to required faculty. So 2 by 9, what is the required faculty here is 6. So it is 1.3, 1.3. Now, how many assistant professors is required? 6 by 9 multiplied to required faculty. 6 by 9 to multiply 6, it is a 4. Yes, but you have admitted, we have a 5. Now, I'm assuming that you require 0.6 PhD holder is required for the COI, CO minus 1. But your management is very kind enough to recruit the more number of professors. You have a 3 professor for the COI, CO minus 1. For the even associate professor, you have a 2 for the COI, CO minus 1. So condition A itself, it is satisfying. You require only 2, but you have 3. So no need to check for the condition B. This is not required. So even if you take also, you have more than, you have 3 professor, 2 associate professor. That is also satisfying. So this condition will help you to get the 6 years of accreditation. Now I'm talking about the self-assessment, SFR value. SFR value in the department is less than 15. In 3 years of accreditation, it should be less than 25. But here, if you want to get a 6 years accreditation, your SFR value should be 15:1. In the sense, 1 faculty you require, 15 students is required. For the COI, CO minus 1, CO minus. This is the average of 3 years value. COI, CO minus 1, CO minus 2. Let's assume that your MBA HR program, sanction intake is 60. The number of faculty, I'm assuming that for the COI is 1920, CO minus 1 is 1819 is 10, CO minus 2 is 1718, number of faculty is 9. I'm assuming that this number of faculties are there in your department. That assumption I've taken. The SFR value for the COI is 1920. Total number of students is 120. I already told that since you don't have any UG programs, I'm also told that you have only 1 PG programs, that is MBA HR only. So total number of students is, this is the first year students, this is the second year students. In case if you admitted more than sanction intake, then you have to put, let's assume that your sanction intake 60, but you are admitted 65. Even second year also you have 65 students, then you have to put 65, 65. Now this example, you have 60 only. So in that case, 120 divided by 10, how much? It is a 10. With respect to CO minus 1, your SFR value, total number of students divided by number of faculty, 120 divided by 9, it is 13.3. So average of SFR, it is a 12.4. It is less than 15. So this condition will clearly shows that you are eligible for this 6 years accreditation. Now, condition 5, HOD of the program should have a PhD degree. In the sense, for example, Varaprasad is a PhD holder, he is the HOD, and he's also having the PhD degree in marketing. Let us assume that. I mean, this guy is professor in MBA department. He got PhD in marketing. Let us assume that. So this example will clear you 6 years of accreditation. Now, condition 6. The placement ratio is equal to more than 75%. With respect to to get the 3 years of accreditation, um, means you require 60% average of 3 years. Now I already told that with respect to your MBA HR programs, admitted student is 60. Out of 60 for the CRY -1, 45 students know they got placed in the company or any government sector, assume like that. Number of 7 students out of 60, 7 students have went for their higher studies and 2 students become entrepreneur. So X plus Y plus Z, it is 54. So 54 divided by 60, how much? It is a 0.9, it means 90%. Like that, you have to take the average of 3 years. Placement index is 0.84 and 84. To get the 6-year accreditation, you require 75%, but average of 3 years. But you have if you take average of 3 years, you are 84. So this case will clear the 6 years accreditation. Now, condition 7. Program should score minimum 750 marks out of 1000 marks. See, if you take the total number of marks is 1000 marks. So you should you should score minimum 750 marks. Let us assume that your program, your MBA HR program, is scored 769 marks out of 1000. This is the maximum marks, but your MBA HR program, you know, the marks is got like that, 768 marks. So out of 1000, this example will clear the 6 years accreditation. Now, condition 8. Minimum score 60% is mandatory fee for all criteria. In the sense, you have a 10 criteria is there. Out of 10 criteria, all criteria, you should maintain the 60% marks. 60% of the marks you have to score. Like for example, if you're an MBA HR program, in your college you have an MBA HR program, you assume like that. That particular program, they went for MBA accreditation, they got the marks is like that. This is the total marks, they got marked like that. Criteria 1, criteria 9, criteria 10, the total marks is 50, but you got the marks distribution is like that. Means like that. Mean in the sense, minimum no, you have to get the 30 more, minimum no, you have to get the 30 at least 30 marks is required out of 50. In criteria 2, criteria 3, criteria 5, you should score at least 60% of 60 marks out of 1000 marks. With respect to criteria 4, you should score at least 75 marks out of 125. In criteria 6, you should score minimum 132 marks out of 220. Criteria 7, you should score at least 78 marks out of 140 marks. Yeah, with respect to criteria, okay, all criteria is over. Now, in case if you fail any one of these condition, for example, you assume like that, in criteria 8, you got 20 marks. Then in that case, so if you fail any one of these conditions, you are not eligible for the 6 years accreditation, but you are eligible for the accreditation for the 3 years, not for the 6 years. Now, I'm talking about the important criteria. Yes, every criteria is important, of course, but there are some criteria which are more critical in a sense. Now I'm talking about the criteria 5. I already told that in order to get the 3 years of accreditation, 60% of the average seat has to be filled for the average, for the past 3 years, COI, COI -1, COI -2. Whereas 6 years MBA accreditation, 75% of a seat has to be filled for the average of 3 years, COI, COI -1, COI -3. Now, in order to get the MBA accreditation for the, in case you want to get the 6-year accreditation, in criteria 5, you need to score minimum 60 marks out of 1000 marks, 60%. In criteria 5, to get the 3 years of MBA accreditation, the average placement ratio should be equal or more than 60% of marks for the past 3 years. Means like in the sense, the placement index, should be 60% is required. Whereas 6 years accreditation, you need 75% is required. Now, I'm talking about criteria 6. To get the 3 years of MBA accreditation, you need to score at least 88 marks. In case if you got 87, then you are not eligible for the MBA accreditation. Less than 40 in the sense, no accreditation. There is no grace marks because and our university system, some student, if you pass all the subject, if any one of subject, if you get less marks, like a 2 marks, 3 marks, will give grace mark, but MBA will not give the grace mark concept. So they don't ask grace mark concept here. To get the 6 years accreditation, you need a score minimum 132 marks out of 220. I mean 60 marks. To get the MBA 3 years of accreditation, or it will be the 6 years MBA accreditation, you need at least two regular professors, or what to say that one regular professors and one associate professor is required with PhD for the department COI, CO-1. These 2 years, it must PhD. And to get the 6 years of accreditation, the average SFR value should be below 15 is required. In order to get the 3 years of accreditation, the average SFR should be 1:25. In the sense, one student, you require one faculty, you require 25 students is required for the 3 years. But when it comes to 6-year accreditation, 15 faculty, you require 15 students, you require one faculty. Just meaning that. Now, you say that condition 6, HOD of the program should be possess the PhD degree. But when it comes to for the 3 years of accreditation, HOD is not required PhD, but however, it is a desirable. But for the 6 years, HOD of the program should be have a PhD degree. Now I'm talking about the multiple choice questions. Okay. Multiple choice questions. Because I don't know how much information I have delivered to you people, how much of information you acquired, I don't know. So I want to test you people whether you have a learn or not. So I'm requesting all audience. Can you answer these questions? You can use your chat message so that you tell that what is your answer. Okay, what is the chat message? Yeah, I'm requesting all audience. What is your answer? Sir, you do my humble request. Okay, so many people already answered. Okay, good. No, you just give me the answer. Either question 1A. Does MBA gives accreditation for A? You have 4 options. A is college, B is the department, C is the program, D is none of the above. You have to put 1A, 1B, 1C like that. Okay. You just give the question number because I don't know which question you are giving answer. Okay, program is, yeah. If your answer is C, 1C, question 1C, then it's correct. Yeah, there is another question. How many minimum number of batches students should be passed out in order to apply MBA accreditation for MBA programs? So you have 4 answers. Okay. Okay. You have 4 answers. One is 0 batch, 1 batch, 2 batch students, 3 batch students. So what is your answer? Means I'll repeat once again. In order to get the accreditation, how many number of batch student has to be passed out? You have 4 answer: 0 batch, 1 batch, 2 batch, 3 batch. What is your answer? Sir, there is a nice, sir.
Let me check, sir. Let me check.
If your answer is D, then it is correct. There is another question. Yeah. Now, question: to get the 3 years of accreditation for MBA programs, what is the average SFR value maximum we can keep? You have 4 options. A is less than or equal to 25, less than or equal to 25.5. C is less than or equal to 15. D is less than or equal to 30. What is your answer? It seems maximum people are giving the answer. Okay, we see If you get the answer is 3A, it is correct. You put the question number also, because when you put A, I don't know whether it is a 2A or 3A. So you better you give the question number also. Now, question 4. To get the 6 years accreditation for MBA programs, what is the average SFR value? I mean, maximum we can keep. You have 4 options: less than or equal to 25, B, less than or equal to 20, C, less than or equal to 15, D, less than or equal to 15.5. What is your answer? Yeah, yeah, it seems okay. So many people they give an answer. We'll see. If your answer is C, then it's correct. Now, question 5. To get the 3 years of MBA accreditation, how much minimum number of professors or how many number of minimum associate professors is needed for the CAY, mean current academic year -1 for MBA program? You have 4 options. One is 1 regular professor and 1 regular associate professor. B is 2 regular professor. C is 1 regular professor and 1 regular associate professor. Okay. You see that if your answer is D, then it is correct. Say I already told that in order to get the 3 years accreditation, you have to satisfy 2 conditions: condition A or condition B. Condition A is nothing but 1 regular professor and 1 regular associate professor. This is condition A. Condition B is that you require 2 regular professors. So if your answer is D, then it's correct. Yeah, I'm requesting all audience, please use the question number. When I say that D, because I don't know whether it is 4D or 5D or 3D. Now, question number 6. To get the 6 years MBA accreditation, what is the average placement ratio? I mean, minimum for the CAY -1, current academic year -1, current academics -2, current academics -2 needed for the MBA programs. Less than 50, A, that is B is less than 60, C is less than 70, D is more than 75. Yeah, let's see how many people have given. If your answer is D, then it's correct. Now, question number 9. In MBA program, I mean, SAR in the sense self-assessment reports, how many criteria are exist and how many marks are allocated? You have 4 options. Total criteria is 9. That is, I mean, you have 4 options. A is total criteria is 9. Total marks is 1000. Option B, total criteria is 10 and total marks is 1000. Option C, total criteria is 9 and total marks is 900. Option D, total criteria is 6 and total marks is 780. What is your option? Some people are telling D, some people are telling B. That discussion is required. Whether it is correct or wrong, that is secondary thing. You should participate the events. Yeah. 9. Okay. See, I already told that with respect to MBA assessment year, there are total number of criteria are 10 and total number of marks are 1000. So there is no 9 criteria, it is the 10 criteria. Now, question 10, this is the last one. In order to get the 3 years of MBA accreditation for MBA programs, dash percentage of total marks is required for in criteria 4. You have 4 options. One is 45% of the total marks in criteria 6 and 45% of the total marks in criteria B, that is B. Criteria, I mean option C, 50% of the total marks in criteria 6 and D is None of the above. What is your answer? Yeah. Means with respect to criteria 6, how much of percentage of marks we have to get the to get the 6 years of 3 years of accreditation? So if your answer is A, then it's correct. Yeah, question number 11. Let us assume that in your department there are 432 faculty, 432 students are there, and you assume like that you don't have any UG program. In the sense, you don't have any BBA or BCom program. Let us assume that. And that case, find the required number of faculties needed. Means how many number of faculties are required. There are 4 options. A is required faculty members are 17.28. B is required faculty members are 36. C is required faculty members are 21.6. D is required faculty members are 14.4. What is your answer? This is question 11. So I already told that how to calculate the required faculty. You apply that formula so that you will get it. Okay. Yeah. If your answer is C, then it is correct. Because there is a one formula. They told clearly that you have to compile the 20:1. So 20:1 in the sense, how many number of faculties are there? Students are there? 4 divided by 20. How much? It is 1.6. Sir, there is some noise, sir.
I'm checking on it, sir.
Question 12. Question 12. Let us assume that in question 12, let us assume that in your department there are 432 students, and assume that you don't have any UG program, means you don't have any BBA program or BCom programs. And then now, how many number of required professors required? Sir, someone has taken, I think Shiva Magram, I think he has taken control. I think this is writing something. Means how many number of professors is required? How many number of professors required? How many number of associate professors is required? Listen, there is a formula. So this is, you can use this is a formula. So number of professor is 2.4 and associate professor is 4.8. B is number of professor is 4.8 and 2.4 is associate professor. 3.4, 6.8. D is 6.8. Associate professor is 3.4.
Presentation escape பண்ணிட்டு திருப்பி presentation போட சொல்லுங்க.
What is your answer? Use this formula so then you will get an idea. So it is 432 students are there. You apply that formula 1 by 9 divided by how many number of required? You just take that one 432 25. So it is required 21 point required faculty. And then 1 by 9 divided multiply into 21.6. So that my number of professors required. Associate means 2 by 9 into required number of faculty. Required number of faculty is 21.6. So your answer is A, then it is correct. Well, I given some value to get you people to confuse. Okay, sir, I'm very sorry to say to you, due to some security reason, I am not in a position to share my PPTs. If you, I think you request for organizer so that now he can help you. Because of no, there are some IPR issues are there, so I'm not in a position to give it. You can use
Sure,
the
sir,
notes.
sure.
Because of no several, because this is several institutions have this. Yeah. Now I'm requesting all audience, if you have any doubts, this is these are the references I have used my presentation. If you have any doubts, please. This is my email ID. In case if you want to communicate with me, then you can always welcome. Yeah. Now, if you have any doubts, you can use your chat message so that I can try to, or you can raise your hands. you can, I think our organizer will allow you to speak. You can use the chat message so that I can try to.
Participants, if you have any questions to ask to the resource person, you can ask your questions either in the chat box or as our resource person had indicated, you can raise your hands and you can ask your questions.
Yeah, they're asking about the share. Okay, can you share the reference once again? Okay, yes, madam. Yeah, madam, I think this is the reference. Thank you, madam. Yeah, if you have any other. Sir, someone has Divya. Okay, I didn't get you, madam. Divya, what is the faculty improvement solution? So, madam, with respect to this criteria and a faculty point of view, if you are doing any consultancy point of view, even interaction with outside world, if you have a more, then you have get more chances to get accreditation. But there are some criteria, like a consultancy, all the things, getting those things is very difficult. Some normal engineering college, but this is the things you have to follow. Sir Kannan, sir, I think I have a question. Can you give? It is very informative. Sir Kannan,
yes, sir. Yes,
yeah.
sir. Sir, first of all, thanks to your presentation. It's very nice and informative, sir. I have a doubt. Sanctioned strength is 60. How can we admitted more than 60 students?
Yeah.
And then how much students can able to admit?
Yeah, that's a very good, sir. Okay, I'll tell you one small example, then we will say. Sir, your college is government college or private college, sir?
We are in SRM deemed university.
Yeah, sir. Actually, what happened? No, let's assume that your science is 60.
Yes.
There is some sort of quotas.
Yeah,
various quota. So if you take ACT quota, there are so many quotas like a ACT quota, ACT Jammu Kashmir quota, like a fees weaker section quota.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the sense, your sanction intake is 60 only, but you will admit more than sanction intake because of that quota.
Sir, is the quota including only the sanction?
No. So it is above.
Oh, okay.
Over and above.
Okay, sir. Then what is the maximum limit, sir?
Sir, that's why I don't know, because see, it is depend upon your insurance. But I've seen the college, they will take huge number of students. I've seen, because there are so many reservations. Even SAR quota also they have some quotas.
Okay.
So it depend upon university and provision, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
There are some questions, sir. I don't know. There are so many people are chatting. Very good. Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, I don't know, sir. Because there are so many messages coming. Okay. So regarding, sir,
Varaprasad sir, can I facilitate you in getting the questions?
Yes,
sir.
Sir.
One question asked by one Professor Amardeep Kurukwar. He was actually he wanted to know whether do we have to maintain any proof to substantiate our claims in placement and higher studies and entrepreneurial claims.
Sir, 100%.
What sort of proofs are to be maintained? Is what is the question that he is asked.
Yeah, sir. They have placement proof, whether it is off campus or in campus. They have a proof. You require proof, sir. HR, you will send some official letter. Your your student is appointed so and so place. What is the designation that you have to maintain? If you are going for higher studies, then they should have for example, if any student, if you join PhD, then you should have an ID card, even ID card or first year marks card, something like that for higher studies. For entrepreneurs, then they require like a registration of that company. That's sufficient. If it is placement, then that particular company official order is required.
Sir, one another question asked by the same faculty about what are the factors, what are the things that are considered under faculty attributes and contributions?
Sir, there are so many things are there, because I think I don't have a.
I can understand, sir. I can understand because it is a very exhaustive list.
Faculty list, you have a what is it? There are like it comes even a number of faculty. SFR also will come here. Even faculty qualifications, even publication, consultancy, all it comes in that category, sir.
Okay.
I don't know how much of information I carried, but oh, sir, there is one more. Why there is a variation in SFR such as 1:15, 1:20? There is any specific reason, sir? Sir, that's why I'm telling no. In order to get these 6 years of accreditation, you have to maintain 1:15. In order to get this 3 years of accreditation, you require 1:20, sir. Because sometimes no college is maintaining 1:20. It's very difficult for them. If you want to get the 3 years of accreditation, then 1:20 is required. Sir, I hope that, sir, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think we have come to the end of the session. I take the privilege of thanking Professor Varaprasad sir for taking such an enlightening session today. Because as we all of us know, though we wanted to improve upon our education system through outcome-based education, it is also one of the important parameter, that is very much considered in NBA as a compliance, and we all of us have got a lot of insights and benefited out of this session, really, sir. Thank you once again for giving such a wonderful and insightful session to all of us. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presence.
I don't know how much of information I carried, but I tried my level best to give.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We vote to you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Participants, the next session commences exactly by 11:15 a.m. I request all the participants to join for the session at least 5 minutes before the session. Thank you all once again.
Sir, with your permission, can I close?
Yes, sir. Please, sir. Please. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes. Hello, sir. Yeah, sir. Come, sir. Just there is some I'm talking with. Sir.